right, we're fucking doing it. All right, take a sip of water there. You really, you outdressed me. And it's just by jeans.
And you live here, too.
Yes, I live here.
You could have changed, 10 minutes ago when I got here to...
You take the subway here?
Yeah, this is my first time. I haven't taken the bus and the subway from work to the city since March 12th. First day, so if you got corona...
No, I'm good.
Oh, you got the antibodies?
No antibodies.
Oh.
I got nothing.
So I'm saying I just took the subway and the bus, so I could.
You took the subway and the bus.
Oh, 2 subways and a bus.
You took 2 subways and a bus?
That's how I've commuted since 2015.
Wait, I thought you meant today.
Yeah. I've commuted like that for
You
years.
commuted like that to work today?
Yes.
To Chinatown, because you work in Chinatown.
I was expecting corona early January. I was way ahead on this corona stuff.
Right.
I was so ahead on corona. I originally heard about corona late December, and I was like, what did those idiots in Corona Queens do that they just made a disease after them? That's how ahead of the curve I was.
Yeah, well, you've been wearing a mask since SARS if you're working in
here's
Flushing.
The thing. People don't remember this. Early in November, they said this is going to be the worst flu season ever. Do you remember this?
I remember this.
So the people in Flushing, Queens, they wear masks regardless. Well, not all of them, but most of them.
Right.
Because they know what SARS, like they knew about corona, in 2010 when they had to,
Exactly.
they've had corona before. So they're they're very ready for this. So they heard it's going to be the worst flu season, or we got out there, it was going to be the worst flu season. Big mask uptick.
Okay.
So much so that by late November, I was like, there's something going on. And then mid-December, you start hearing about corona, even bigger mask uptick. And I was like...
What, they start wearing 2 masks?
No, I'm saying... Hey,
because in Flushing, you're like a lot of people. Just say they're all Asian and they're all wearing masks.
Okay. I did see someone not Asian with 2 masks on the day.
You seriously?
Yes. It was. She had the blue mask I had on, but then it was like a felt mask on top to keep that one in place.
Why even wear the bottom one?
I don't know. I couldn't
Asian?
No, not Asian.
Oh, so she doesn't know.
Yeah, anyway. So I see this major, I'm like, these guys know something that they're not telling us. And then January, February, you saw the progression from January on. Right. But I knew early, I was like, this is something more than they're letting on big time. Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know about you. You got tested, no antibodies.
Listen to this bullshit. So from December, January, February.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm going to be patient 0, the white patient 0 for corona. I was like, right. I'm the only white.
Patient 2 million,
but
patient
white,
0.
Yeah.
Right,
I was like, they're going to call it, you ever hear of Lou Gehrig's disease? I'm going to be the Calamari virus. That's what it's going to be in America because of,
You're going to be the Ryan White of COVID.
Who's Ryan White?
The boy who got a blood transfusion and got AIDS in 92.
Oh, wait, okay. That's why I don't know.
All right, there you go.
But yeah, I'm going to be Ryan Lou Gehrig of this fucking made up disease that China made. Anyway, I'm mentally preparing for this. And then I hear that in March, after late March, early April, they're like, oh, if you're in New York, by the way, you probably had it in late February. So late February, I'm sick as a fucking dog, mind you. Had I was it wasn't the flu. I was like, what the fuck is going on with me?
I remember.
I was very sick. And what's it called? It's. I feel like I've told this story too many times. Anyway, I'm the first person, day 1 antibody test.
Where'd you get tested?
Urgent care.
Which one?
Merrick Road and Rockville Center.
Yeah.
Anyway,
a lot of people with cross tattoos on their forearms and working in that one.
You know what? I was the first person there, in and out, so I couldn't even but I feel like those places, by the way, get a bad rap. Very nice. The urgent care.
Oh, no. I've told my urgent care story on here about how they did the flu test wrong 4 times to me. And it was negative for flu. And then she said, I don't even know what to do now.
I'll tell you my urgent care Towson, Maryland story after this.
Okay.
But anyway, I get my antibody test. Comes back 2 days later. And it says I have 0.2 antibodies. And for corona, you need I think it was 0.8. It's like a DUI.
Okay.
So I call the guy up, and it says negative 0.2. And I go, hey, what's this 0.2? And it's like, oh, that means you had some viral infection in the past couple of months, but we don't know what it is. I was like,
good.
No idea? They're like, we couldn't tell you. We didn't test for it. I was like, all right.
You saw it.
That was
and didn't test for it.
You took a lot of blood. Anyway, did nothing for it. And then you start hearing all these like news about like false negatives, false positives. So I'm like, I definitely have some like rare strand, or like I think I have some like other strand of corona, because apparently corona in like India and corona in different. California and New York, 3 different total strands.
Yep.
But my City MD Towson, Maryland story, or urgent care, whatever it was, this place was a shithole.
It's Towson, Maryland.
Yeah, no, and not the nice part.
Well, yeah, no one watched The Wire and said, why aren't they filming this in the nice parts of Baltimore? Why is this only in the bad parts? And it seems like most of the city.
I made this place worse, though. Like, you wonder why places like this are that shitty? It's because people like me and behave like this come in. So I had...
Not what the show led on to believe, but...
yeah.
There's a bunch of economic majors that are tearing this city
There's
apart.
a reason the show got canceled after 5 seasons. They didn't get to season 6. But I got a little chlamydia, and...
Well, it is.
Yeah, it happens. I can't have kids. Anyway...
Is that what chlamydia does?
If you don't do anything about it for 6 months, you may be barren.
All right.
Anyway, I probably... TBD. If you want to have kids with me, don't listen to this.
There's no one listening to this.
Hey, in the future, you never know. So anyway, I take... I'm like... I had the symptoms of like the burning piss.
Right.
Long story short, I had chlamydia. I had to go to an urgent care. They gave me a Z-Pack.
Okay.
And they're like, you can take this all at once, or you could take it once a day for like 8 days, like every 2 days.
Right. The research didn't hit Baltimore at the time.
Right. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take it all at once. Bad idea. It's that like you were a medical person. Athromycin, whatever it's called. Yeah. Athromycin. Anyway, my body didn't take to it very well, which is common.
Doesn't it like rip out your stomach lining or
something?
something?
Ripped out my stomach lining. I probably told you this. Ripped out my stomach lining. Or that's probably a common thing. Anyway, rips out my stomach lining. Now I'm like, I have chlamydia. I could sip of water from this glass would equal 20 minutes in the toilet. I'm just like shitting out everything. I'm just pissing out of my ass. My body is shedding weight. I'm the most miserable person in the world. I go to the urgent care and I time it. So like, I got off the toilet. I'm like, okay, I have enough time to drive from my bathroom to urgent care without shitting.
Give us a time frame.
It's like 15 minutes.
Pretty good.
Because even if I'm not drinking water, my stomach can just turn and I have to run to the bathroom.
Yeah, we've all had diarrhea before.
Yeah. So I time it perfectly. I get there and they're like, oh, okay. Like you probably, like they knew what I was going through based off the symptoms like right away. Like you probably ripped out your stomach liner. Just like go in the back with this. They gave me like, it looked, what are those things you strain pasta with in the sink? It was a strainer. A strainer with no holes. They gave me like, it was that piece of Tupperware essentially. And they gave me like a tongue depressor and a couple wet naps. And they're like, we need a stool sample from you. Take this little kit and go into the bathroom.
Why'd they give you a tongue depressor? Because that's just what gets you off?
I guess. They're like, you look like the type of guy that needs this too.
Yeah, also give us a semen sample while you're in there. Just stick this into wherever you need to.
So they gave me a couple other things, but I don't want to reveal how stupid I am by not knowing how to...
Right.
What they're called. So...
I'm just panning for gold.
Yeah. So they're like, go into the bathroom and, give us a stool sample. And this is how dumb I was. I was like, stool sample? And they're like,
oh, Kyle.
I didn't know. I'd never been asked that. I never, first time for everything.
They didn't even give me wood.
Yeah.
How am I going to form a stool?
It was Loyola, not Hopkins. I was at, by the way. So they let me back there like 20 minutes go by. I'm trying to like force it out. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'm like cured. Like this is the longest I've gone without shitting in days. So I come out and I go, hey, I can't give you a sample right now. They're like, I thought you said you were like shitting every 15 minutes. I was like, I guess not, sister. I don't know what to tell you. So I was like, hold on. Do you have any water here? And they go, no. I was like...
Of course, in Baltimore, they don't have running water.
So I didn't want to drink. I meant like a water bottle. I wasn't going to drink that running water from the Baltimore.
It might have cured you.
Yeah,
you couldn't have gone worse.
It would have cured my diarrhea, but it would have gave me AIDS. So... Yeah. So I'm like, I'm going to go to the CVS across the street. I'll be right back. I get some pretzels. I get a Gatorade. Pop in my mouth. Of course, 5 minutes later, I got a shit. But of course, 5 minutes later...
Bathroom full.
Exactly. Urgent care in Baltimore, people need that place.
Right, so they have to shoot up.
So those waiting rooms fill up. And where they asked me to put my stool sample the first time was this bathroom in the back that had like a little trap door to like put the Tupperware in to like seal it afterward.
Gotcha.
So it was way more official.
Right.
And I go to the woman at the front desk who's been an angel, by the way, absolute angel with me, like dealing with me and my bullshit. And I go, I need to go right now. She's like, well, you can't go because that bathroom's full. I was like, listen, if I don't go in there, I'm going to go in this like lobby and there's nothing I can do about that. It's just how this is working right now.
Right.
And she goes, all right, you can go in like the regular, like not pedestrian bathroom, but like the lobby bathroom, which is not like clean or any, it's just like
it's Baltimore.
Yeah.
It's a Baltimore public
and there's
bathroom.
no little cubby for my like bucket of shit afterwards. So I go in there. I'm like, great. Go in there, get the sample out, ready to go. And then I realize there's no little cubby. And I'm like, oh, I have to walk through this lobby full of people with this bucket of shit right now.
Yeah.
And I did. And everyone knew what was in that bucket because they either heard me talking to that woman or smelt it.
Right.
And I just left it there. And I go, just leave it here. And she's like, yeah. I was like,
All right.
3 to 4 days, I'll be calling. And then, yeah, it was embarrassing, but there's no real tale of that story. Just I walked through a lobby with a bucket of shit.
Right, don't get chlamydia in Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah,
That's the lesson at the end of the
exactly,
day, which
kids.
I don't know if anyone listening to this needs that. But you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Also,
If you're not in your primary care physician's town, don't get chlamydia.
yeah, also
That's
get
the
better
broader-
health insurance. That's also a better
I had health insurance. I wasn't going to go to like Baltimore's weird in the sense that it's either Hopkins and you're getting like your cancer cured or you're going to City MD. There's no real like as a student there's no like physician to go to.
There's no health clinic at Loyola?
Oh, that is, but it's a fucking joke.
Nah,
It's- they would have done the same thing but like
Yeah, Catholic school, they tell you to fucking pray it away.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's good. 50,000 for that.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I feel we didn't introduce you either.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is Kyle Mara.
That's not going to be on.
Yeah, we get like 5 views on the YouTube.
Ah.
So people are going to be listening mostly
Oh,
to
okay,
this.
that's fine, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Hilarious comic sometimes.
Jeez.
Always a good guy.
Always a good guy.
100% a good guy. Less than a hilarious comic.
Wow, that's pretty. That's
It's pretty
rude.
good.
That's pretty. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, he was.
That's a high compliment for
you
me.
know what? I'll take it after you tell me how you introduced Taylor Smith. Then, because
I introduced him as a no one.
okay.
So
then,
thanks
yeah,
for listening to the first episode.
I'll take
but,
the comment.
Yeah, Taylor's a no one. You are slightly more than no one.
Oh no, that I know, but saying I'm slightly hysterical, pretty weak intro. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. Fucking when we do late night at the comic strip,
If that happens again.
if that ever happens again. What me and Kyle usually do, we spend our nights hanging out at the Comic Strip Comedy Club on the Upper East Side, and we perform from 11 to midnight every night to roughly 4 foreigners.
Yeah. Well, that's the weird thing. Like, I get the romantic side of it is to be like, there was 3 drunks and 2 of them didn't even speak a language. It's like, but sometimes it's like, it's that, or it's like 40, 50 people, which is like,
It's been
which,
very
which
good.
is why
It
we
could be
go
very good.
type of thing.
Right.
So I get like, people always talk about like, it's the strip and the cellar. They used to do late night and you hear like comics that we look up to talk about it. And you're like, if you perform into 2 people and the sound of cigarettes burning every night, why'd you go? It's like,
Because there were nights. It's
yeah, there is exactly
Right.
type of thing. So
There have been times. There was one time I did a set. It was 8 foreign exchange students in the front row, and then a drunk guy in the back row. And between every bit I did, he would.
I was there that night. Yeah.
He would walk up to one of the girls and hit on him.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to yell at him, and he'd walk back. You'd do your bit, finish the bit. He'd walk back up and try to hit on a different foreign exchange girl.
Right.
And you're like, it got to the point where the girls just give him a fake number. Like, what are we? Like, it's on you at a point.
You know what's so funny about that story? How there's like 6 of us that have that same story, but we have different crowd members, like different number of crowd members in the crowd during our set because that guy. Like, I think everyone was doing generally like as shitty as the situation was. Everyone was doing well, but he was pissing off everyone in the crowd. So like, you went up to 8 people in him. I probably went up to like 9 or 7, depending on
Yeah.
where I went that night. And then the first guy probably went up to like 20 in him, but that guy walked, 10.
How many
10
people?
Yeah, how many people?
There's also a set I did. I went on stage, and then this girl I went to high school with was in the front row, and she started waving at me. She started waving at me like I could have been like, oh, hello.
Right.
How are you?
You know
There's
what?
40 people here. You want to have a conversation now? We didn't talk for 4 years in high school, and we didn't talk afterwards, and now this is where you want to do it?
I had a similar thing happen, and I made sure I knew there was a Long Island girl that was going to do the same exact thing this girl did. So I made sure I saw her go to the bathroom like during like one of the regular spot sets.
Right.
And I grabbed her. I was like, "Hey, I'm here." And
Don't
she's-
wave.
Yeah, don't like tell everyone at the table right now so they don't act like fucking jackasses when I get up there type of thing.
I'd rather you take a picture. If you take a picture, I really
yeah,
don't
yeah.
care. To wave, and she was in the front row, so now
Right.
everyone from the back. If she was in the last row, she could wave.
Right. It'd be great if she
can't
called
wave
you.
in the front.
No, that's speaking of waving in the front, one time I saw TJ Miller was closing out and
Oh, so he pushed us back a half hour?
exactly.
Nice.
But he did do one thing I really appreciated. This girl, she like everyone thought she was waving at him and she puts her hand out she's in the front row and TJ grabs it and goes, "Yes, I'm real." And then I was like, I respect this guy now. This was like, it was one of those things like these big celebrity comics, like you're like, you can't tell if they're going to be like otherworldly or just absolute dog shit.
Right.
And I was like, this guy, he's got something going on. I like this.
It's better than when Tracy Morgan came in fucking hammered. First off, he drove in. No one talked about... Everyone was like, Tracy Morgan's here. And I'm like, yeah, he drove here. He's hammered.
Right.
Someone get him an Uber home.
I was on West 3rd one night. We'll get back to Tracy Morgan at the strip in a second. But the ground starts shaking. I was like, fuck, it's 9/11 part 2. Like, I literally thought someone was bombing.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy Morgan in like a souped up Ferrari with a major sound system just vibrating city blocks at
Yeah.
a time. But yeah, he came in that night. I believe he told us to stab audience members in the chest. I think that was his line.
Well, first off, he does a set, and he comes off and sits with us. And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You see what I just did, man? See what I just did? I did about 8 minutes. And then the manager leaned over to me. He goes, he did 24 minutes. Like, it wasn't even close to 8 minutes. And he was like, if you work hard enough, you could live in a house like me. You could live in a house. And he said, I live in a 40 million square foot house. And I was like, half of that's right, I feel like. Half of what you said is correct.
If you work as hard as me, I mean, if you know how to not put your blinker on a major highway, I like that night. That was actually, he was like giving us good advice. He was just, I guess, hammered and just.
He was absolutely hammered. And after during his speech, you're just like, I know why you got hit. Like, it's why I know now why
He
you
wasn't
have so much
driving.
money. It doesn't matter. Tracy Morgan, he could have just went up there and took the wheel. Was he not driving? Oh, that's right. He didn't
It was
drive.
a tour bus, I think.
Was it a tour bus?
It was something like, I don't know, but I know it was him and a bunch of other comics. I'm assuming it was a tour bus. It could have been like just a couple comics in a car, but.
No, it was a Walmart truck hit him.
Yeah. Because there was Artie Fuqua was in that
Right.
truck too.
Right.
Car, whatever, too.
And then someone else who's dead and no one cared about. That's when you know you weren't a good comic. When you died.
Right.
And they still don't talk about you. That's how you know you weren't that good.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else did he say that night? Because there was good advice. Like there was like good snippets, but just
A good thing he said. I like that he was like, "We're not comics, we're comedians."
oh
He was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, you're an artist. Remember that you act that way. And I was
Right,
like,
right.
you haven't seen most of these people's sets.
Right. Well, that's what drives me nuts. It's like I try to explain people where I do comedy. I don't try to explain. They ask me, and then I begrudgingly explain.
Right.
But it's like I like to tell. Like in my mind, I'm like doing late night at a club or being like the lowest guy at a totem pole at any club. It's like getting into a good college, in the sense like there's people there that like work their ass off to get there, and there's people that are just there because they have like a connection. And there's tons of people that there's tons of people that went to a great college, but they just have they have no career
Right.
afterwards. And there's some people that skyrocket, type of thing. So and so what my point is, the people that are there at the club with us, it's like they're telling these stories to people, and it's like, you suck. It's like they get the same story we do.
Right.
This is assuming this is like douchey to think this way, but it's like they don't in my mind, they're like, you don't deserve to be here in the first place. You somehow got here, and now you're in my fucking
You had a
way.
good college essay.
Yeah, exactly.
You had a good 5 minutes about your grandmother's.
Who am I to say who doesn't belong in a comedy
autistic.
club? But it's like, really, at the end of the day, there's trash. There's just trash comics that like
It's just what it is.
wiggle their way up the fucking ladder somehow.
Right. And you know what? I respect it. Snake it till you make it.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's the thing. Some of these people, they could turn the corner. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think so. But they could technically, like statistically, they could.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably not based off everything they've ever done. But maybe.
Yeah. It's. I think the college is a good analysis. It's a good analogy.
Right.
But you can't be like, it's like going to Harvard, because it's not.
It's so much not like going on. It's like going to Loyola. I'm paying a lot for this. Right. It's not great.
Oh no, it's better than Loyola. Loyola may not be a school in 5 years for all we know.
Yeah. Well, because we don't know about religion. People still following it, but it's just the truth.
Yeah. Cool. I heard. I was listening to my boy Yang recently.
Okay.
And he's big on this whole like enough with the like. He doesn't say enough with these marketing major schools, but he's like, we need some like plumber schools. We need some.
You mean
like,
Andrew Yang,
trades.
correct?
What I call him?
You said your boy Yang.
Oh yeah. I'm talking about Andrew.
Yeah. Well,
Yang,
you work in Flushing. I don't know. How many boys named Yang? Because
Yeah, that's okay. This is actually in my notes of things I want to talk about. Stuff in Flushing that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. I'm on this.
Keep going on this, right.
Andrew Yang tip, but like we need more like tradesman schools. Enough of these fucking like I'm a finance major, I'm a communications major. It's like we don't need, even if like those jobs exist, we don't need them to be majors. We need people that know how to do things.
Right.
So,
but people look down on those people.
well, that's his whole thing. He's like. He wants to like change the mentality. Let's not make this political. I'm just saying like I like that thinking. Like we need to change the
100%. I grew up with these people that's parents are millionaires, probably inherited most of it, and now they went to Penn State, Wisconsin, Maryland, and now they're doing recruiting. I don't understand the job recruiting. It doesn't make sense. Your job is to get other people jobs.
It's a pyramid scheme.
It doesn't make sense.
It's a pyramid scheme.
It makes no sense. I'm looking for someone that can do an entry-level marketing job. That's anyone.
Right.
Anyone can do that.
And then we want 30% of your salary.
Right. What's the company name? Oh, it's something I've never heard of. Like, it's, I don't understand.
I went to a recruiter once. I'll never go again. So I go in, nice suit and tie. This was like right after college. So like I had some optimism.
Right.
And the guy who was taking me in for like, it was like the recruiter interview. So this wasn't even like, we're not even talking about what type of field they want to get into yet.
Right.
And this guy comes in, like tattoos all over the place, cardigan sweater, V-neck t-shirt underneath the cardigan. Like, you could see
Cool.
it was
So
like,
he's just cool.
And big gauge earrings, shaved
Cool.
head. Like, I'm not gonna say neck tattoos, but back tattoos that were borderline neck tattoos.
So he's a biochemical engineer.
Something like that. Exactly. Yeah. So we're shooting the shit in the back. I'm all looking spiffy, like a little preppy bitch, just had this look I had,
Right.
suit on.
Right. Yeah, you just lost the vest now. You still dress the same.
I
You
never
still like
had
a
a vest.
preppier dress. I know. That was a joke. I was like, you still dress.
Oh yeah. I don't want to dress like one of these fucking losers like that live in Brooklyn.
Right.
Just
If I
like,
didn't know you, I think you went to Chaminade. You give off big Chaminade
I
energy.
got in, my dad's still pissed I didn't go.
Yeah. You give off Chaminade energy, but you say things that are Kellenberg level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's inside Long Island.
Like not knowing what stool sample was.
Right.
Anyway. So he's looking at my resume and he's like, given your experience, and I had like a couple internships, whatever, like college. It was like I had a college resume. And he's like, you'd be lucky to be someone's assistant. And this guy, I'm like,
what does that mean?
I'm looking through his gauge earrings, which like were bigger than quarters.
Oh, the recruiter was.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, if a guy like you is telling me I'm lucky to be an assistant, this world isn't made for me. So I walked out of it. I was like, you can't help me. And I left.
In his defense, he was like, and I'm below that. So you are maybe an assistant and I am a peon. That's what's going on.
I don't think I've ever heard you in like the half empty mentality right there. That was non-negative rich for once. And I loved it.
Right. I'm usually a positive person, but when it comes to comedy, I become negative when people
Right.
that,
Oh, okay. Okay.
don't tell jokes for 6 months, then host a late night show. It's just the truth. Oh yeah, we're doomed.
Oh no. Yeah. That's the other thing too. Like it was also one of the first times I heard it was like, you don't really have anything going for you on paper, which I think he meant you're a white guy.
Right.
And I was like, you have my resume right there. And he kind of just looked at me like, you didn't get what I just said to you.
Right. He's like, how, are you willing to do the gauges? Are you willing to do the gauges?
I'm not gay, but I'm gay for this job. I'll tell you this right.
Right. I told them I was born Elizabeth. So.
Okay, Frank. Get this. Speaking of, this is actually a good transition. I got randomly hit up to audition for a commercial last week.
Okay.
Randomly hit up. And I'm looking, like, they give me the lines, whatever. They give me the copy, the call sheet, whatever. Let me read you what they were looking for. And then you tell me what you hear.
Okay. I'm closing my eyes.
Okay. Husband.
Okay.
Male.
Okay.
They had the clarify.
Well,
in 2020.
Right. 2020, husbands may not be male.
Looking for corporate climber / overgrown frat boy who reads as annoyingly self-important. We want to hate him just a little bit. An exaggerated square jaw helps. Thank you. References: Timothy Oliphant, Max Greenfeld, James Marsden, Jeremy Strong. Hold on. Ronnie Chang and Donald Glover. Oh shit, we forgot to add non-white guy names, so we
Let's add a couple at the end.
Yeah, so just throw on a
Ronnie
couple.
Chang
Yes, exactly.
and Donald Glover. Let me tell you, two people at the opposite sides of the career spectrum.
There's more. For husband, you are the annoying partner who is oblivious to the pain your wife is in. You're concerned with all you're concerned with is your business call and sounding smart. You have an inflated sense of ego and self-importance.
Wow, real creative script here for this commercial. Yeah. Where'd you take this from? King of Queens and every other sitcom?
So the thing is, though, they hit me up out of the blue. I didn't submit for this at all. I don't have an agent. I don't have a manager of anyone to be like, oh, look at Kyle Merritt for this part.
Right.
So these guys just found me on the internet and they go, oh, this guy looks like a fucking douchebag. Like,
yeah.
This guy looks like he's gonna beat his wife. This guy looks like he doesn't care about anyone but himself.
Or they saw you and said, this guy reminds me of Ronnie Chang.
Yeah. A white Donald Glover.
A white Donald Glover. That's right. Yeah. You also voiced a young Simba.
Hey, I got range, people. I got range.
What was I going to say?
Did not get the commercial, by the way.
Did you audition?
I self-tape, send it in. I was like, this is like
is that what they're doing now?
This is a thing from God.
Can you do it in person?
You know, I don't know, but it was non-union. And I know for like, even before Corona, most stuff at this level was like, before we waste your time coming in, just send us a tape type of thing.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah. All right. Shout out Backstage.
Yeah, exactly. I did actually, I did a commercial last spring. It wasn't like a TV commercial. It was a promotional video for like a headphone company based out of China.
Okay.
And they wanted like the all-American type guy.
Right.
I'll tell you who got it for me.
And then they wrote down Ronnie Chang.
Yeah. I'll tell you who suggested me. I got recommended for this.
Okay.
So I'll tell you that later. I don't want to give this person any type of clout on a podcast no one's going to listen to. But I get there. And there's like 3 Chinese businessmen like watching this whole shoot go on. So there's like the camera crew, me, the extras,
right.
And I'm like the spokesperson.
Yeah, you're the front. You're the face.
So I'm like, during all the scenes, there's these 3 Chinese businessmen like arms crossed, like every take being like, no. Okay. Like they were approving and disapproving me in real time, which made this whole situation even more nerve-wracking.
Get ready for the future, Kyle, because that's what it's going to be.
And then that went even further, where I had to do a voiceover at the end. So it's me, the sound guy, and 2 Chinese guys crammed into like it was like some like mid-sized sedan by Washington Square Park. And I'm like doing this read. I'm like, these earphones are gonna be blah blah blah, and they're like, no. And do it again. It was like cracking the whip on me. And eventually I got it right. And the thing is, I'm not saying they're wrong for doing it. That's what this business is. But like having the suits and the creatives in the same room, it was like just the sweat was like, it was coming down hard. It was not an easy situation.
And you would think the amount of times you've been in Flushing, you'd be ready for this.
Oh no,
these
guys, you never see people like this in Flushing. These are like the people that look down on the Flushing people. They live in Great Neck. They flew in from China. Well, the thing is, 2 of these guys I don't think spoke English. They were here just for the shoot type of thing.
Just to see you.
So exactly. So this guy, at one point we're doing the shoot. And the Chinese guy that definitely spoke English, he comes over and he looks at the guy's camera, like the screen that's like the playback screen.
Right.
And he goes, "Oh yeah, we're making one of these." And the guy's like, "Oh really? Like,
He meant white person. That's what he meant. We're going to make one of those and a few others. It's called cloning. Welcome to the future.
Right. Coronavirus is just to wipe us out, and then they're gonna reintroduce the new, better white model." And the guy's like, "Oh, can I get one when it comes out?" He's like, "Yeah, maybe you guys can shoot the commercial for it." And it's like, this is a very like niche screen. Like, only people with cameras want this shit.
Right.
So it's like, you're doing a commercial for it, and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, we do a bunch of stuff. We do everything. And they're like, "By the way, your company, this guy, they hired like some photography, like commercial company.
Right.
Like these guys, they do the skits for The Daily Show."
Oh, Jesus.
This crew. So, where am I going with this? They go, "If you guys brought your crew, like if we took you from The Daily Show,
Right.
and set you up in China in a little shop, and you guys just make commercials for new products coming to America, you guys would be millionaires." Like, there's so like the idea of having like a standing crew ready to film a commercial for a new product they're bringing to market for investor purposes.
Right.
But the thing is, they don't have the white American hero
That's what you need.
in China. So,
Right. China loves white guys.
that being said, if you're listening to this, I'm willing to move to China because I need the money.
I'm 100% down. Also, hello, our Chinese owners. I respect you. I'm with you. I don't know who their leader is. What's his name? You don't know. You didn't know what Stool sample was.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, you're so fucked.
Do they have a leader?
Yeah, they have a dictator.
I'm saying, do they have? Is it one person though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they have like a.
It's not like a family
I mean,
or something.
I'm not going to call it a cabinet, but
That's what I'm saying. I think you hear more about the individuals, not one.
Yeah, they got high-ranking
one emperor.
people.
Yeah,
Right.
They've
Yeah.
got high-ranking people, and you're calling me dumb, Rich.
Yeah,
you know
listen.
yourself. Shut up with the.
Listen, you know how fucking South Shore, Long Island you've come off so far? Oh my God, you didn't know what Stool sample was? And you got into Chaminade and didn't go, probably because you thought the gas would be too much to drive there. You South Shore fuck.
No, I literally, I can't even remember why I didn't want to go, but I remember my dad being like, "You're a fucking idiot. Like, you're really blowing it big time." My life could be completely different right now.
Yeah, you would, instead of Loyola, where would you have gone?
Well, that's what's so confusing.
You would have ended up back at Loyola.
No, I probably would have.
You would have more successful friends. I've met your friends.
I think I could have. I could have swung an Ivy if I went to Chaminade.
You think?
I'm a great when the pressure's on. I perform.
I don't know what that means.
So like test taking. I did like I'm not gonna be this guy. I did well on my SAT, but like when it comes to like you need to do good here or your life's gonna get fucked up, I do well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. One test doesn't mean you go to the Ivies.
No, but I'm saying like if I had 4 years of Sean under my belt, I could have like just had a different mindset on life and been better.
I don't think so. I think you still end up at Loyola, little Jesuit school. Still make the friends you made. They're still going keto, not going keto. Like your friends.
I tried going keto like one time. It didn't work.
No, your buddy.
Oh, Keto Joe.
Keto Joe.
You know what? I'm glad everything worked out.
That's how South Shore you are. You went to college and you still gave your friend a nickname. You're still like, you're Keto Joe.
That guy's got 20 fucking nicknames, by the way.
He's got 20 nicknames?
Big time.
Throw them at me.
Joey Bosa, J-Man, Jizz, anything Joey.
And he's not South Shore.
No,
he's
from like
kid.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Anything with a J he gets that nickname. Apparently, it's a Northeast thing, by the way. The whole nickname culture and like last name.
Yeah, it's a trash thing. That's what trash people do. Trash started in the Northeast, and then it spread. And then when you got white trash, then you got like hippie trash. But trash started in New York and Boston.
Hey, we were tired of being so fancy. You know, we like to relax.
Right. It's just the Irish got off the boat, got on, and just started making fish and chips. That's how you know. Like when you go to like at least what I consider a pretty good restaurant, they're always known for their fish and chips.
On Long Island?
On Long Island, like a good brunch spot always has a good fish and chips. A good restaurant on the water always has a good fish and chips. Why? Because in our genetics, we're trash fucks, and we just want beer and beer battered fish and potato chips.
I think it's one of those things. I think people from Long Island think people from England are fancy. Or like if we have fish and chips, they're gonna think we're fancy.
Do you think that's what it is? Like
I've
subconsciously?
never heard this fish and chips theory. Ever, I never even noticed that. That could be a you thing.
It could be a me thing.
But I know people from Long Island are obsessed with being classier than they are, and associating yourself with anything British makes you classy.
Right. Yeah. That's it. Long Island associates class. Like, it's a certain type of Long Island. Long Island is so new money.
Yes,
It, like,
yeah.
drips new money. If you ask someone, like, an average Long Island person what wealth is, they would say a white Mercedes and a silk scarf.
And,
Those are the two things they would say is class.
And the people with old money don't even associate. Like, I love the rebranding of, like, North Shore people by the time they're 18 to be, like, New York City people. Like, they don't even...
We're very quick.
Yeah,
We're very quick on the draw.
They don't even, like, acknowledge the fact that they're from a different place. Like, oh, we're from New York City. Like, they're the type of people that lie to you. They're like, I'm from Long Island. Like, where are you from? Like, New York? Like, oh, not the city. They'll be like, no, I'm from the city. My parents have a place in the Upper West Side.
Right. Well, it depends who I'm talking to where I will say, like, where I'm from. If I talk to someone like you, like a South Shore trash fuck, I will say I'm from Syosset because that tells you that I am above you. That I am above you in the social ladder. If I talk to someone who grew up in New York City, I'll say Long Island just because they're above Syosset.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, Raffles Center is the class of the South Shore. So anyway,
you are the classless. You have such little class. To say you're the classiest of the South Shore is like you're the smartest window licker.
We're the prettiest
like
girl dates. That's
right. You're such a nothing that anything is better than that. Who's your competition? Freeport?
yeah, exactly.
You go on the nautical mile, people are doing cocaine next to lobster rolls.
And children.
And children. The children are doing the children gum cocaine on the nautical mile. That's it. Look, you have no competition. What else do you have? Five Towns? They think they're classy because they filmed Goodfellas there. Like, you're just not a classy area.
Want to hear a Goodfellas thing from me? So, the three main guys in Goodfellas.
Right.
We got Joe Pesci's character. We got Robert De Niro's character.
Right.
We got Henry Hill.
Right.
My grandpa has like lived in Long Island since like the 60s.
Gotcha.
And he was telling me like these guys, they were in like the news. So one Thanksgiving, he was telling me like stuff he remembered from hearing about in the news.
He's like, you see those guys in the movie? Not only were they in the movie, they were also on the news sometimes.
Yeah. So Joe Pesci apparently was obsessed, like his real life character, I can't think of his name,
Right.
was apparently obsessed with his mom and his wardrobe.
Italian.
Yeah, he apparently lived in an apartment smaller than this room, which is a rack of clothes in the bathroom. Like, he didn't give a fuck about anything else besides giving his mom money and wearing nice suits.
That is 90% of Long Island.
And then Henry Hill, by the way. I ever tell you the Henry Hill auto body shop
you
story?
told me that.
I'll share with you. I delivered food one day in my life on Long Island. And I got to this auto body shop in Oceanside, New York, which is where Henry Hill lived in real life. Well, he lived in Raffles Center too, apparently, at one point. But I noticed the guys had like 4 different Goodfellas posters that had aged differently by the sun, meaning they got them at different times.
Right.
So I'm essentially looking at, and they're all signed by Ray Liotta.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, I guess whenever Ray Liotta got a DUI, he just came with a new poster and got body work done in his car. This is why they didn't get them all at once. They came at different times.
Yeah, his auto body shop and his dermatologist are just covered
in Goodfellas
posters.
But apparently, you know the scene in Goodfellas where the helicopter's flying above?
That's
Right,
and he's driving. And he keeps
That's in
looking up.
Raffles Center.
Right.
Like a main road, like everyone's gym is on that street. Like it's. I know that someone showed me the house it was in real life. He apparently lived like not too far from me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
that's my Henry Hill story. I should have ended with the funny part, not tell the that street is in my town.
Yeah,
at the
it's
end.
what it is. Listen, we haven't done comedy in a few months, so it's fine.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, you have no. It's just fine. You have no class. I went to a brunch spot in South Shore, Suffolk. The name
Babylon, West Islip.
No. I'll edit all this out eventually until I get to the name.
Just keep it in there. This is fun.
Bayshore. Thank you.
Bayshore. Okay.
Brunch spot called Salt. Real original name there, bud. Real class act. And first of all, you walk in and they're playing like Avicii. Like they made the playlist in 2012 when they tried to make a restaurant originally, and that restaurant didn't work out.
The funding didn't work out, so we had to wait 6 years to.
Right. And who owns the place? An Irish guy. Just saying. So the Irish were never known to be a classy group, so I don't care. And then, first of all, it's in a boatyard. They just put a restaurant in a boatyard, and they were like, "Nah, we have Eggs Benedict." So,
when you say boatyard, I thought you meant you're talking like boatyard in the sense there's like mechanics and just like boats on stilts,
right?
Not like a marina or anything like that.
No, like a legit boatyard.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I mean, listen, it's Bayshore.
Right.
It's not a good place. The only place less classy than the South Shore of Nassau is the South Shore of Suffolk.
Exactly. Thank you for pointing that out to me. We're not the it's like
right. Yeah, you're not the lowest.
Yeah. Oh, there's way lower. There's way. I remember I was in driver's ed once, and our driver's ed teacher was like just shitting on all the other places that he wasn't from that were like lower on the totem pole than
Where's
him.
he from?
I believe he was from like Seaford. Which
to talk lower than Seaford.
we're in the car one day. He's like, yeah, I'm not one of those scumbags from Rocky Point. I'm like, I don't even know what Rocky Point was at the time.
Wow. That's a 50-minute drive insult. That is so not even close to each other.
But when you're from Seaford, that's how low you have to go.
Rocky Point's pretty nice. Like, it's not great.
I don't even know if it's an
nice.
insult. I think he could have been pulling out of his ass.
Yeah, fucking Seaford's trash because they take pills, but they're generic brand. Like they're not even brand name drugs. You fucking bitches.
They OD off drugs that their parents paid less for, like a discount. Anyway, right. I was thinking on the way here. Shout out to the white trash person that had the presence of mind to not call themselves white trash and say they're salt of the earth.
Right. That was the first marketing major. Yeah. That's what that was.
They got into Boston College on a soccer scholarship.
Right.
And they figured out, you know what, this whole white trash branding thing, we could do better.
Just salt of the earth. Yeah. Salt of the earth, cuz. They threw a cuz at the end of it because they're like, I still want to bring it back to my roots.
I feel like my Long Island accent has been coming back big time. I don't know if you noticed. Do you notice this?
No, because you sound normal to me.
Living on Long Island, I'll tell you why I'm never going to move back to Long Island.
Where are you going?
The Village.
Oh, my God.
Or like, I'll say, I don't know if I ever told you this. If I wasn't in comedy, I'd like, you ever see the movie Shooter with Mark Wahlberg?
No.
You've never seen Shooter?
I don't watch movies.
Oh
if you've listened to the first 6 episodes, you know this.
Everyone that's listening to this has seen Shooter. The guy that Mark Wahlberg's character goes to find out if you can paper trace bullets, he's a hermit. Okay. I'd be the guy living in the woods with like an odd knowledge. And like people will come to me and be like, tell me about this. Like, that's
Do you think you could hang it in the woods?
Absolutely.
I don't think so at all.
I'm a man of solitude.
Nope.
Anyway.
Yeah, a man of solitude, but you still need a place with a good calzone. Like, you can't just go into the woods.
You have this weird perception of me being this, like...
I don't have a weird perception. The places we go eat. The last time I was with you, you got a place. We walked out of the way for this good Italian sandwich, and we got fresh lemonade.
Hey, they had great lemonade there.
They did have a good lemonade, but don't tell me. You think so much higher of yourself than you are. I'm bringing you back down.
I'm the guy that had the thought, white trash people call themselves salt of the earth. That's me.
Right, that's you. You're just 40 years too late. To good ideas, you're just too late.
Yeah. Anyway, where was I going with this? What was I going to say? Why I'm not going to... There was something earlier I was talking about. But anyway, why I'm not going to move back to Long Island. I'll tell you why. Early in quarantine, I'm like, you know what? I'm in Long Island. I'm going to do Long Island things. Oh, my accent's coming back big time. Like, I've been running into people in the city, and they're like, holy shit. You don't sound the same. Like, or I met someone. They were like, "You have like a really thick accent." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, I don't know. It was very like apparently
the redhead you went out with.
Yes, it's apparently back big. My accent, and so I'm at this bagel place, and I'm like, I'm gonna do Long Island things while I'm here.
Right. I'm gonna go to this bagel place and yell at the minorities working.
You've almost substitute me. You pretty much told my story. So. So I call up this bagel place, 24-hour bagel in Island Park. It's like Island Park.
In Island Park.
Best bagels out there.
Wow, that place is Union Delegate City.
Yeah. Tim Dillon's from Island Park, I believe. It's called 24-hour bagel. I call him up, and I go, You guys open? Because, by the way, it's like early pandemic. Places are closing down left and right. I go, hey, you guys still open? Like, I know a lot of places are closed down because of the pandemic. And the guy goes, we're called 24-Hour Bagel.
Yeah, I've been to that place.
He goes, we're open 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I go, yeah, but there's a pandemic going on. He goes, we're called 24-Hour Bagel. We're open 7 days a week. So I'm like, you know what? Despite the rudeness, I want this bagel. I'm going to go anyway. I go there. It's a fucking madhouse because it's like early social distancing.
Right.
But it's South Shore, Long Island, Island Park people who don't give a fuck about that.
Right. They're the people like the mask is on, but it's under their chin. And they're
Exactly.
like, it's on.
So there's this woman at the register, white woman, mask on, losing her fucking mind at the guy behind the register.
First off, can I just say something quick? The South Shore of Long Island, if you watch commercials for like fast food and you're like, white people don't work at fast food places anymore, South Shore of Long Island, yeah, they do.
Oh, yeah,
They still do.
Oh, is that a thing? I never even noticed that in commercial. So she's losing. Like, fuck you. This is bullshit. I called this order in a half hour ago. Like, why isn't it done? I swear to God, if these bacon, egg, and cheeses are cold, I'm going to, call my credit card company and get a refund. This is horse shit. And it's one of those things. So many people were calling in orders because they didn't want to wait around a store. So they told her it was like a 2-hour wait or something like that. She showed up a half hour in, apparently, to the 2-hour wait and demanded they get her bagels right away. And I surmise this from like more of her yelling and like leading on what was going on.
Right. Well, I'm also, if you're a South Shore woman calling in your credit card company, they're like, listen, you're $3,000 in debt. You think you're going to ask for the $14 off from the bagels? You owe us $1 million.
Right. Oh, by the way, to not to fuck up your point, this was like a massive order. It was like a $200 order, I found, because I was next to the register.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a big order. So she's just like laying every curse you can imagine. And she's talking to a white guy. So the register next to her, young Spanish-looking woman, Latino, excuse me. And this Latino-looking woman, she turns to this woman and she goes, you're the rudest person I've ever met in my entire life.
I love it.
And it was one of those things, if she didn't say it, everyone, like I was kind of in like, I forget where I was standing, but like everyone was like inching forward. Like she was the first hero. I'm not going to take that away from her. But if she didn't say it, someone else was, because it was outrageous the way this woman was behaving. So now the only person that's not happy about this, or the person who's most excited about this, is the cashier register, because now he knows this malice from her is going to get directed toward the Spanish woman. This woman turns to the Spanish-looking woman and goes, fuck you, you're a fucking how dare you talk to me like that?
She did say it.
Every slur, every curse.
Starts calling her like slurs of ethnicity she's not even.
Exactly.
She's like, you fucking kraut. And you're like, a German slur. Like, wow.
It was wild. And it got to the point, like, now there's other people in the store being like, lady, calm the fuck down. Like, it was like it's funny to hear the Long Island voice in like a calming, like they're still angry, but like, hey lady, calm the fuck down. He's doing a job over there. Like it was oddly like therapeutic. I was like, we can be nice people. But she just continued to lay into this Latino woman. And I was like, oh, this is why I left. This is why I'm not going to live here in the future.
Right.
This is why my parents talk about like, selling their house and just not being here anymore.
Right, so they could yell at minorities just in a warmer environment. That's what I never understood about Long Island people. They're like, I got to leave here, man. I got to leave here. I got to move to South Carolina. And I'm like, oh, yeah, there are also Hispanics in South Carolina.
The N-word isn't legal to say in South Carolina. You're still going to get your ass kicked if you say the N-word down there. Like, no. I heard my buddy, he moved down there. He says it all the time.
He says it's doing pretty well down there. That's why a lot of people from Long Island end up moving to Arizona, because they're like, they don't even recognize Martin Luther King Day down there.
Do they really?
They just started following it. But yeah, for a very long time, they didn't acknowledge Martin Luther King Day. That's a certain type of like racist to be, where like, I hate you so much that I'm gonna work that day.
Right. Do they have another day? Do they have like a David Duke Day? Do they have like another day to take place of the Martin Luther King Day?
No, well, I thought it would be Columbus Day, but now it kind of, I thought we could get both days, and now we're losing one. Right, hopefully not. Let's call it something else.
Yeah, we'll see. I do have something else I wanted to.
Also, I have a very similar story. I went to Bagel Master in Plainview.
Okay.
I went with my dad. I was in high school at this time, and we walk in, and my dad's like, "Yeah, can we get 2 bacon, egg, and cheese on and everything?" and it was a Spanish guy working in back, and he goes, "We can't do a bacon, egg, and cheese because this is a kosher restaurant. We can't put the cheese. And we can't do bacon
I've
with
run
it."
into this problem. Yeah,
And my dad was like,
they even had cheese.
you just couldn't combine them. And my dad was like,
interesting.
you can't just like make it like I'm not kosher. You can't just make it. And the guys, I've never seen someone so like empathetic, where he looked at my dad's and he looked at him in the eyes and he was like, I wish I could make this for you, man. I want to make this for you. I just can't do it.
I had that once at a Ben's. I asked for a Reuben.
Jesus, Ben's.
And they go, we don't do that. And they were not empathetic at all. They're like, listen, we don't even have cheese in this restaurant. I was like, all right, sorry, nothing for you there. Oh, man. I found this out the other day. I feel like this is going to be up your alley. Apparently, where I work is one of like 3 Queens neighborhoods under AOC. I told this story backwards. I should have reeled at the end. For the past year, past like year and a half, there's been these like gypsy homeless people.
Yes,
Now,
you've been telling me that they've been moving the cars.
Yes. So
Yes.
I'm not punching down talking about homeless people. These are gypsies. It's like a different.
Very different type. We've talked about my big fat American gypsy wedding on this show.
Okay.
Amazing show. If you do not watch it, these people are wild.
So these people, I've never seen that show, but these people, if you're listening, think of the McPoyles from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That's a very good way to put it.
This is what, and that's what they look like. They have the eyebrow, they have the unibrow, they have the oily skin, they have
They're
the
very
braided
Eastern
hair.
European looking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're just very gross
Like they
people.
could be cast as extras in Fiddler on the Roof. That's what I feel like that's their look. Or Tin Roof, what's the other gay play I can't think of right now?
Are either of those plays gay or just plays by nature gay? Listen, Kyle, that's why you can't live anywhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, you can only live on Long Island because you call plays gay, even when they're not about gay people.
I like plays too. Anyway.
It's just, right, it's a compliment.
Anyway, so I'm not like these are a different sect of people, and it didn't make sense why they've been showing up over the past year and a half. I did some research. We're in AOC's district, and the cops refuse to do anything. Like we'll call the cops, and like they literally they call the cops, and they told my manager they're like, can you do anything about this? And they go, de Blasio's handcuffed in this city, and they left.
That's right. Hey, those guys, that's right. They worked their 8 hours, and you know where they drove home to? Rockville Center, Long Island.
Anyway, so a bunch of shit's been happening where like now they're turning like our block into a yard sale almost. It's like
What does that mean?
There's like patio furniture, like mismatched patio
In Flushing.
furniture. Yes.
Okay.
Grills, just random shit like kitchen sinks, toilets, random pieces of wood all over the place.
Okay.
And they'll pack it in, they'll block other parts of the street, they'll hold their parking spots with these big tables. It's very odd. And it's like we'll call the cops on them because like thing is they're like someone's gonna get hurt and the corporate park I work in is gonna be responsible for it.
Right.
So we're like you can't be here. And the cops give us the same bullshit like de Blasio's we're in this city. See you later. And we're right across the street from the police academy, by the way.
Right.
So the other day, a guy across the street, I was outside, so I saw this. A guy across the street was like a worker. He was spraying like pesticide in the sidewalk to get rid of the weeds. And this woman comes out and she goes, "We're going to call the cops on you." It's like, go ahead. Like she's like, "You're trying
This
to
is what we're doing now?
Yeah. She's like, "You're trying to poison me. You're trying to kill me." It's like, if anything, we're trying to make your little property you don't pay for nicer.
Right.
But
do you know how you get your water?
This is the thing. They don't have anything, which is crazy to me. But what they do, it's illegal in New York City to have propane tanks.
Yes, I know that.
All these cars are hooked up to like propane tanks, heating their van. I'm waiting to show up to work one day, and one of these vans just bursts into flames, and these guys are like,
It'd probably
fried.
be by them for the insurance money.
Exactly. It's good. You ever see Star Wars? You're a Star Wars guy?
Nah, he's a Star Wars guy.
You ever see in Star Wars New Hope when Luke comes back and he finds his uncle and his aunt like grilled, and they're like skeletons? I'm waiting. Yeah, this is going to happen.
That's going to be the Gypsies in Flushing.
These Gypsies I work with. I don't work with. They work, in front of my building.
Yeah, we're talking about Gypsies in Flushing.
I'm giving these. You don't know any. You watch reality TV. You have no references. You have no.
Listen, I've been pitching shows to people and no one's listening to me. All right, I'm like, listen, I got
They
Gypsies
suck.
in Flushing, and they're like, no, we already got Gypsies. What else you
That's
got?
not inclusive enough. But so the funny story with the Gypsies was I was out with the Sawzall the other day chopping up some pallets. And
I don't understand at all what you do. But go on.
So the main van, the main camper, it's the main camper, our fence, some dumpsters, and then where I do my work with the Sawzall.
Right. And just to tell everyone, you work in refrigerator parts.
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone else is confused with me.
Yeah. So sometimes refrigerator parts come in on big pallets, and you can't just throw the pallet out, so you got to chop them up.
Okay. I kind of get it.
So I'm sawing the Sawzall, and if you ever use like a Sawzall or a chainsaw, like your hand gets tired, like you feel like your ligaments like shrinking and dying because you're just vibrating so fast.
Right.
So I had to stop every couple minutes, and the main, like the chieftain of this like gypsy pack is berating one of the women, and he's just like, "You're a good for nothing. I don't know how I even fuck you. I don't get how you're living in my trailer with me." And the thing is, like,
describe his outfit.
I don't know. He's usually in like
rhinestones.
Picture anyone you've ever seen on Cops on meth. That's what these people like. That's what the men look like. And he's like, I do feel bad for this guy because like his mental illness shines in the way like it affects his voice. Like his voice is always like cracking in a weird way.
Right. You don't feel bad for the woman he's calling a.
Oh no!
The guy I feel.
Well,
bad
the thing
for.
is, she hasn't proven to me she's mentally ill yet. She's just of incest. Like this guy's mentally ill, so I'm like, I feel bad for this guy. He's just like in a bad situation. So he's like, but he's still the chieftain. He's still the top dog.
Right.
So,
mentally ill, but still at the top of the food chain.
So I'm sawing, and I just hear him berating him over the Sawzall, which is very loud, by the way. And I stop for a second to sneeze. So I stop, sneeze, but then all I hear is like, "You're a good for nothing. God bless you." And let me tell you another thing, you piece of shit. I was like, this guy's just kind. He just doesn't like this woman, you know.
He's God fearing. He hates women, but he fears God.
He has manners. He
was not an animal. You know, he has a mother. You know, she's also kind of a bitch, but so is a mother.
I had to start the saw again just so I can laugh out loud without engaging them. I was like, there needs to be something to drown out my laughter, so he doesn't come around the fence and try to talk to me, because I was losing my fucking mind laughing at this guy. Oh, that's my gypsy story.
I just can't relate to anything gypsy. I don't know. I've never encountered gypsies.
You don't want to. You don't want AOC to start ruling your district.
No, that's why I pay a lot for this apartment. Yeah. The exact reason why. That's what it is. Listen. But you live in the village.
Yeah. I got a very weird life.
You got a weird life.
Yeah. That's why I had to leave Equinox. I felt like I was literally, this is going to sound, you're going to like laugh this off. I was becoming like unrelatable. Like to the point where I work this weird job. I live in a nice area. I belong to this gym where like, I can't talk to the gym. You can't be a comic and talk about Equinox because they're like, fuck you. You fucking think you're better than me going to Equinox. Like that's just audiences in general. Comics are like, psh, what do you work in the village? You live in the village, blah, blah, blah. It's like, first of all, you live in Williamsburg and pay $100 less in rent than me, but spend $500 on Uber a month. Shut the fuck up.
Also, your parents are paying for the apartment. Yeah. Let's just be honest.
It's called managing your money, you fucking nobodies.
Yeah.
That's my biggest pet peeve with these Brooklyn, Queens comics. Like, oh, you live in the village? I'm like, where do you live? A high rise in Astoria? How much does that cost you? Oh, twice of what I pay, you fucking asshole.
Yeah. How have you not had a job in the 4 years I've known you, yet you still pay $1,500 a month?
It drives me fucking
and rent.
Nuts. It drives me. And the thing is, these people are just so stupid. I never want to get into it with them, but I'd love to be that. In my mind, I'm always that hard ass, like just like whipping out spreadsheets and being like, look at this. Like you actually have a nice job. Like and they choose to live there. This is the problem with people not from New York living in these areas.
Tell me.
They don't understand that you're supposed to get out of those areas. Like my dad's from Queens, my mom's from Brooklyn.
Right.
They wanted to move.
Right, you're supposed to broaden your horizons.
There's nothing cool about living in a tiny apartment for your entire life, trying to be something you're not. Like, just get the fuck out. I can't even put into words. It gets me so angry. These people.
But that just shows how nothing they're from. It's these people from Iowa moving to like Clinton Hill.
No, I think a lot of them do come from stuff, and they hide the fact.
But it's like relative to what we think is stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you
Like,
have money in Idaho.
Like we come
but
from
what
nice
is
places.
that?
We don't hide the fact. Like we joke around white trash, but we don't hide the fact we come from like nice towns in Long Island.
Right.
Like it's all like fun and games, but these people like they're such mental like psychos. They have to like to be like hard and legit. Like millennials, I've noticed, have this weird fascination with thinking being poor is cool. Like I was
Yeah,
listen
I
to
can
it.
see that.
I was
see what
talking to
you're
this woman
talking
the other
about.
day, and she was telling me about how, and she's not from Long Island. She's from like Westchester, I'm pretty sure. And she was telling me how hard her parents had it, and how like they didn't go on like nice vacations, which was an odd segue. I'm like, you're telling me like how
Right. When you're talking about your vacations, that's already a level of privilege.
right. So, and my mom didn't have it like super hard, but like there was parts of her story. My mom didn't have it hard at all, really. She had like a pretty nice upbringing.
Right.
But still, like parts of the story kind of reminded me how my mom, like they get in like a station wagon and go up to like Woodstock, New York for a weekend. That was a nice vacation for him. So I go, oh, you know, this kind of sounds like how my mom was brought up, like getting in the station wagon, going upstate. And this girl goes, whoa. My parents didn't have a station wagon. I didn't say it was a fucking Rolls Royce, you psycho. It was a station wagon. Like,
Right.
It's just, like this fascination with like, we've seen too many documentaries. We've seen too many Eat True Hollywood stories where like, you got to come from the gutter to be cool. You got to be legit. It's like, not necessarily. And like, you're a fucking accountant. Who cares where you came from? Just live your fucking life.
Right.
Everyone's so concerned with like their image and like what people think of them. It's like, just fucking sit back, enjoy life a little bit more. It's not all about, you know, like you're not like, we're going for something in show business. Like our image matters to an extent.
Right.
But if you're just a fucking like, just a college grad working off, I don't know, just have a regular job, who gives a fuck what your background looks like? You're trying to be a person. You're trying to be a human being. You're trying to crawl up the ladder. It drives me fucking crazy.
I just don't get it when people are moving to like Bed-Stuy and they're like, "Oh my, I love it there." It's just there's just every culture you'd want is in Bed-Stuy, and I'm like, yeah, there's also gang culture.
Right.
Like you're going to get shot. You're going to die there.
I was watching $1 Million Listing the other day, and they were trying to sell a $2.5 million. It was listed at $3.5 million townhouse,
Right.
that they put a shit ton of money into in Bed-Stuy, and the owner just couldn't accept the fact that the broker was like, "Listen, the neighborhood's not there yet. The neighborhood's not there yet." And the thing is, he couldn't say, like he was on TV, camera on him. He couldn't say, "Not enough white people live there yet for you to warrant $3.5 million."
Right, you can't say that.
And he just kept on saying, the neighborhood's not there yet, and the guy just didn't understand. Literally got to the point. You can look this up. It's like a recent episode of $1 Million Listing. I think it was season 8, episode 14. Because I looked on demand.
Oh, okay.
They do like 3 different segments of telling the owner, "Listen, you are not going to sell this house for $3.5 million. The people that will buy it will get shot. It is
Right.
not a good area."
Right. Now all these people are like, "Oh, do you want to do this show in East New York?" And I'm like, why in the world would I want to do that right now? Why
Right,
would I
right.
want to do that?
Crime rate is
It's an up and
skyrocketing.
coming neighborhood. Let me know when it's there.
Right.
Let me know when it's up and coming.
Well, that's the thing. I'm hoping. I'm like de Blasio 2022 at this point because I want him to destroy the city so badly that I can buy real estate in Manhattan.
We could do it now because I go on Street Easy every day.
I do too.
Yeah, you could do it right now.
Yeah, we need de Blasio to do some work and just make the city ashes so we can buy some real estate.
I like that Cuomo's like, you could open the gyms, and then de Blasio's like, "Excuse me, I would like to say you cannot." Because I want you to hate me more. I think de Blasio at this point is just getting us all to hate him. And then we realize like, oh, wait, we all get along. Like
Right.
we hate him so much that it becomes a unity.
Right. Oh, man. I think I'm out of talking points.
You're out of talking points?
I wrote some stuff down, but
I really was just trying to hammer home as much Long Island trash shit as possible.
yeah.
So I was just going to keep going with that.
That's the other thing, too, with like Long Island, being like from Long Island, like I don't say like this kind of goes back to the people like hiding it type of thing. Like I was talking to, I don't want to say what comic it was because I just don't like the person, but they did make a good point. They were saying like they were a fat person.
Okay.
And they were like, you don't have to be, I don't have to be the fat guy comic if I don't want to. Like you can like direct your narrative type of thing. Like you don't have, if you come from money or if you come from like being poor, you don't have to be the poor guy or the rich guy. Like you can maneuver it type of thing.
Right.
And that kind of ties into this whole like idea of people not in show business, or trust me, people in show business do. They try to act like they're tough, especially now with like being white isn't cool.
Very
so
not
it's
cool.
like they're trying to be like, yeah, my granddad had it tough. It's like no one gives a fuck about like, or it's like I know this one comment that's a joke. He's like, dating was hard for my parents. It's like, let's hear about you, you fucking loser.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's one of those people that's living in Bed-Stuy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
They need a community.
All right, I think this is over with this fucking camera. Oh, iPhone's storage full.
Richie.
We might not go video on this one.
Okay.
That's what it is. All right, Kyle. We'll wrap it up. Where can the people reach you?
Please subscribe to my podcast.
Okay.
This is a good timing because I just relaunched. I'm in the process of relaunching it on Anchor on a different podcast platform because my old one, not good.
I'm on Anchor.
Yeah. So subscribe to Kyle Maragets on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. And check me out on Instagram. Follow me there.
And when comedy clubs come back, you can watch both of us perform at the comic strip at 1 a.m.
Yeah, and on Mondays.
Yeah, on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Right.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
Not that hot Tuesday spot when everyone else is going out.
Exactly.
All right, team. Adios.
See ya.